Relax. Cheers, guys. Welcome to it. I guess I'm gonna sit on the floor today. Shout out to everybody out there whose dog takes over the couch. And in today's video, we're gonna be focusing on some foods that are gonna help you get and stay lean. You know, what foods can you put into your environment so that sticking to your diet is pretty much thoughtless? It's pretty much like brushing your teeth. You don't even realize that you're crushing your goals along the way. The ends justify the means. And as a trainer, I always want people to have a clear end in mind, like this clear goal that you're shooting for. And then on the way there is the means. That's all the work that has to go into it. So what we can do is define the ends, and then for the means, for that exercise, for that diet, I want that to be as easy as possible. Like, let's get exercises you enjoy, and let's get food that kicks balls. So today we're gonna be talking about foods that are high volume, low calorie, high protein, and generally just kick tons of balls. So I'm gonna take you into my pantry later today, and we'll get a tally going, and we'll see how many it is. I'm sure it's a lot, because personally, if I didn't have the right foods around me, I would not be able to stay in the shape that I am in. So I have to make it thoughtless, and especially now because I'm super busy right now, guys. Let me just get honest real quick, because someone asked, Chase, you've been gone for 2 weeks. Where are you? And yeah, I've been gone a little bit, guys. I like do a weekly recap all the time, and this word keeps coming up that I'm like scattered. I'm all over the place. I'm spread thin. Things have been busy, and things have been worth it. So yada yada yada, take care of this dog, all this stuff that everybody else has. We all have a lot of obligations, but lately I've just been letting it get to me in a way that it hasn't before. But here I just want to turn this more into a documentation thing. So if you're here for the journey, thank you for sticking around. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel and like the video, because it really helps. And if you want to know what foods you can incorporate into your diet to help you lose weight with little to no effort, stick around for the pantry raid. Pantry raid, not panty raid.
Panty raid? Panty raid? Yeah.
All right, first client is in and out, and I'm ready to train myself. That's the first thing on the menu today. It's not a food, it's a workout, because if you're trying to lose weight the right way, I want you resistance training. Yeah, it's super cool to go and do tons of cardio because you think you're gonna burn a lot of calories that way, and you will burn calories in the moment with cardio, but unless you're doing proper resistance training, you're gonna have a hard time maintaining that weight loss, because with cardio, you gotta maintain the output. With resistance training, you just gotta build muscle over time, and then that muscle is going to burn more calories for you in the background all the time. Every pound of weight that you lose is a certain percentage of fat and a certain percentage of muscle. And what we want to do is maintain as much muscle as possible while losing as much fat as possible. What that comes down to is keeping protein high, making sure the deficit is not too low, and incorporating some resistance training into your routine so that you can keep sending that muscle building signal to your body. Today we're going to do a pull workout. A lot of people that want to lose weight just want to train their abs and their arms because that's where they want to look toned. But no, I want you building up those big muscles. Train your legs, train your back, train really everything. Let's get into it. ABT, always be tracking. That's a wrap. I've got a meeting in 10 minutes. I'm gonna go pretend I'm not sweaty. It's fun. Great way to start the day. Did you click on this video for the shirtless thumbnail of me eating popcorn? If you did, that's okay, because YouTube told me that more people click on videos with shirtless thumbnails. But if you're not just part of the masses, if you clicked on this for some other reason, definitely let me know in the comments below. But if you don't comment, then you clicked on it for the thumbnail. Sorry. Wow, there is a lot of food on this table. We're gonna get into it, but let me give you a quick disclaimer, and let me get these flowers out of the way. These are from my fiance. She showed up one day and gave them to me. They're actually the colors for our wedding, so she's wonderful. She puts up with me. So my kitchen table is currently covered in food. These are the food options that I like to have around on a regular basis to help me maintain a lean physique year-round, so that no matter what, no matter how stressful times get, I can reach for food that is generally low in calories, generally high in protein, very satiating, very delicious, and makes eating healthy basically effortless. I know that earlier I referred to this as weight loss foods, but let's just get one thing clear. There is no food that is inherently going to cause you to lose weight. Weight loss is going to be driven by a calorie deficit, and keeping protein high in that calorie deficit is going to help you retain muscle mass. So all of this food that I'm about to share is going to be pretty conducive of that. And there's so much food on the table that I know I'm not going to get into specific calories and macros for everything, but I'm just going to pick it up, give you the idea, and if you want to do more research on the food and what's in it exactly, you can go do that. But right now I just say get a pen, get some paper, and write down the food items that really intrigue you, because we're gonna be going over some pretty interesting stuff. Some of it's basic, like your chicken and your broccoli. Some of it will be surprising. No more surprises, let's get into it. First thing on the list is gonna be seltzer water, because believe it or not, a lot of times when you're hungry, you're actually just thirsty. So I recommend people get a gallon of water in every day, and a lot of times seltzer water does help. You could also drink diet soda with a little bit of artificial sweeteners in it, just not real sugar, because that's gonna ramp up the calories, and artificial sweeteners they're not gonna kill you. I'm sorry. Only be wary about drinking it before a workout, because that carbonation might make you burp and it might affect your workout quality. Next thing on the list is gonna be almond milk. Now this is my second favorite milk to nut, but cashew milk just hasn't been around lately. Now this is really just nut juice, I suppose. Granted, milk's not bad, dairy's not bad, but if you wanna save on some calories and just keep it filling, keep it delicious, keep it nutritious, make your smoothies with almond milk. Let's stay in the dairy aisle. Now we have cottage cheese. Now cottage cheese in a half a cup, there's only 80 calories and there is 12 grams of protein. This is an excellent protein option to be a regular staple in anyone's diet. I have it every single day. I also have Greek yogurt every single day, and I make all of my dressings out of Greek yogurt as well. If I ever get a Chipotle bowl, I'm saying hold the sour cream, I'm bringing it home, and I'm saving a ton of calories, because in 3/4 of a cup, there's only 90 calories in this. Whereas in 2 tablespoons, there is 60 calories. So I can't do the math there, but you're getting way more volume for the calories on this, so I highly recommend making the swap, switching to non-fat Greek yogurt for anything that is creamy and white. Well, not anything. Next thing, pumpkin puree. I add this to dips all the time. I recently came out with a Fruity Pebbles dip recipe, so definitely check this stuff out. Add it to your yogurt and berry concoctions, add it to your smoothies, hell, even throw it into the right stir fry at the right time. This stuff goes a long way, and in a half a cup, there's only 40 calories. It is insane. So check out my Fruity Pebbles dip recipe if you wanna learn how I like to use it on a regular basis. And then I'm gonna have an honorable mention. This doesn't count as a weight loss food, but if you are buying treats, you know, if you're following the 80-20 rule, 80% of your diet's pretty clean, consisting of this stuff, and 20%'s a little more fun. I like to use fun stuff like Fruity Pebbles, not as a main, but as a topping. So in the Fruity Pebbles dip recipe, you'll see how I just sprinkle a little bit on top of the dip, and I make a little go a long way. And the same thing's gonna be true with these pretzel boys and these tortilla chips, because they make great toppings on salads, on like taco salads, or I even like to crush them up and put them on my oatmeal sometimes if I'm making a really savory oatmeal. I'm weird, but use this stuff as toppings. Weigh out your portion, crush them up, and put them on top of a salad. You don't have to cut tortilla chips out of your life forever, but just use them in moderation. No such thing as good or bad food, only food that is currently more or less aligned with your goals. Speaking of good and bad foods, a lot of people out there today are demonizing fruit, saying that you shouldn't have it because of the carbs, because of the fructose. Guys, eat a damn apple. So this apple here is like 70, 80 calories. It's a great bang for your buck. It's good carbohydrates. It's got a lot of nutrition in it. Load up on frozen berries. And I recommend frozen berries because fresh berries are generally way more expensive. And I honestly like the fact that I can toss these in the microwave, heat them up, and they almost create a little berry sauce under them. But I also love to use them in smoothies. So get this, in a pound of strawberries, 151 calories. A pound. In a pound of blueberries, 261 calories. That seems like a lot more, but guys, this is a pound of food we're talking about. And last but not least, best of all, in a pound of watermelon, we're looking at like 130, 140 freaking calories. I'm gonna get this mustard out of the way while I'm talking, foreshadowing. Plus, it's super light, so do you understand how much watermelon you need to get a pound? And how even if you eat a pound, it's only 130 calories? Eat watermelon, put it on the side with your meals. Seriously, watermelon is the best fruit. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. Let me know in the comments below, is watermelon the best fruit? And if not, why? Also, I saw this really strange thing on TikTok. where people are putting yellow mustard on their watermelon, so let's give it a try. I really don't know what to expect, but the people in the videos all took a bite and like their mind was totally blown. It's not bad, it's not great. It definitely just kind of tastes like mustard on watermelon. Okay, the second round, way better. The acidity and the sweetness really balance each other out quite well. I like it. And if you want a pro tip on getting an extra sweet watermelon, make sure you find a melon that has a big yellow spot on it. I know that that might look like a bad melon, but no, that's a good melon. That's where the bees have a party on the melon. I don't know what they do on it. They're just flopping around on it. I'm not the expert. I don't know what's going on. Get a melon with a big spot. You're gonna fill up an entire Tupperware, and I have a second one of these downstairs. So much melon, so few calories, so delicious. I am passionate about watermelon. Calm down, Chase. All right, next on the list, since we just had it out, mustard and sriracha, two very low calorie condiments that you can use, mix them together. They taste delicious. Use them one at a time. I don't care what you do with them, but I put them on literally everything. I'm not even gonna give you examples. If you're wondering if mustard and sriracha goes on it, the answer is yes. I just put mustard on watermelon and it wasn't bad. I also want to give a shout out to hot sauce for being 0 calories. Now this is just one of my like dozen hot sauces that I always have on deck. Another great option to add flavor to your meals is to have salsa, as well as diced jalapenos and banana peppers. Very low calorie, very delicious if you can handle the heat. And if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'm just kidding. If you can't handle the heat, please subscribe to the channel anyway. Speaking of heat, pepper and salt. Season your food, make it taste better. Also, everything bagel seasoning. If your food isn't good enough, you just need to put everything bagel seasoning on it, voila, problem solved. Next I wanna mention egg whites. Now I do have regular eggs as well. Regular eggs come out to about 70 calories per egg, but if you're just going for a scramble or something, I highly recommend just swapping it out with egg whites. You can also add egg whites to literally anything, and you're just gonna get way more protein and way less calories, a really good bang for your buck. Though I'm not knocking whole eggs because they are full of healthy fats, very nutritious, delicious, keep you satiated. But whole eggs didn't make the list, egg whites did. Another handy protein option to have on deck is sardines. Now these pack a little more of a calorie punch at 150 calories, but they are full of really good quality fats. But if you want to save on calories and save on the fat, I also recommend tuna. Just make sure you brush your teeth after. Now I love to make a little concoction out of my tuna, and I put it on top of these Korean rice cakes. I think they're from Korea. Okay, well these ones are actually manufactured in California, but you get the point. These rice cakes are freaking delicious. And to give you a perspective, there's 120 calories per serving, but there are 10 servings in this container. So do you see that you need many of these to equal a serving? I don't know exactly how many it is, but I do know that for comparison's sake, in just one standard caramel corn rice cake, there's gonna be 50 calories. These things are pretty sweet and delicious. They're just way more airy and way less dense. So you're looking at a hefty chunk of these to equal one normal rice cake. Once you make this swap, you're never going back. And while I'm at the Korean market, I'm also always buying kimchi. It's like the Korean version of sauerkraut. Great for your gut health and really low in calories. And speaking of sauerkraut, I just had this on my sandwich for lunch. You can literally eat, what, 85 grams is 10 calories. So I just had like 120 grams of this. 20 calories really made my meal, really took my sandwich from a basic sandwich to like something I'm like excited to eat. And it's really easy to add that. Like I don't even really cook half the time. I just construct. I just put stuff on top of each other, and that's a key ingredient to the constructions. Now that sandwich that I just had for lunch was on a 45 calorie bread. And that's something you want to look into. No matter what grocery store you shop at, there's gonna be a light bread variation. You generally wanna get some bread that's under about 50 calories. There's also a white bread from Nichols Bakery that clocks in at 35 calories a slice that is fantastic for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on. But 9 out of 10 times I'm sticking with this Aldi brand, 45 calories a slice, delicious wheat bread. I like wheat. And just for comparison's sake, here's some homemade bread that my dad made, and there's just 2 slices left because it is delicious stuff. But this packs a huge calorie punch. So in your average thick slice of homemade bread like this, you're gonna be looking at about 160 calories, whereas this bread is only 45 calories a slice. So there's a time and a place for good home-cooked bread, and there's a time and a place for Aldi. Got a sack of onions here, literally just fry them up, add them to everything and anything to enhance the flavor. It's a vegetable, it's pretty low in calories. Also wanna recommend tomatoes, definitely a staple in this household. called baby carrots. Eat them. Nobody ever got fat from eating too many carrots. Throw them on the side with your lunches, your dinners, even your breakfasts. Just have some light vegetables around to add some volume to your meals. Speaking of volume vegetables, zucchini is freaking amazing, out of this world. I don't have the macros on hand right now, but I know on average like 3 small zucchinis are like 60 calories. These, I would call these medium, so I'm betting this whole pack is under 100 calories, and you can slice those up, add them to a stir fry, turn them into noodles, do anything you want. There are no rules when it comes to zucchini. Well, all right, there might be a rule or two though when it comes to zucchini. Anyway. And just like I praised frozen fruit a second ago, now I'm gonna praise frozen vegetables. Get a bag of steamable broccoli, get a bag of steamable stir fry, throw that crap in the microwave and have yourself a dandy old time. Speaking of what's in the freezer, there are these bags available at Aldi, ready to go cooked shrimp. We're looking at 100 to 200 shrimp per pound, and shrimp is a great bang for your buck on protein per calorie. And that's one thing I'm always looking out for. It's not all about keeping calories low, it's about getting a good deal for the calories. This is all investments, and it's like, what are you investing in? I'm investing in shrimp. Another thing I'm investing in is going to be lean ground turkey. So in a 4-ounce serving, you're gonna get 220 calories because this does come with some fat. Even lean turkey has some fat in it, but for comparison's sake, if you go with 4 ounces of beef, you're looking at 260 calories. So honestly, not bad. This Black Angus beef is a lot lower cal than I expected. And we eat all types of meat regardless of the calories in this house, but no matter what kind of meat I'm eating, no matter how I'm getting my protein in, I'm just aware of the general serving sizes of the meat, and I'm just aware that a little bit of turkey is a little less calories than a little bit of beef. But my gold standards for protein options, if you're really trying to get a bang for your buck, is tilapia and chicken. Now it's tilapia, trust me, it's on a plate here. Now, I don't know if you can see that, my camera's not gonna focus, but we like to cook all of our proteins ahead of time. Like I'll throw a ton of tilapia in the air fryer, season it up, and then just have it on deck to eat all week. I'll do the same thing with chicken breasts or chicken tenderloins. Just season them up, throw them in the air fryer, throw them in the oven, and then throw them in a Tupperware, and you have ready to go protein on hand all week. Turn it into wraps, turn it into salads, turn it into anything. The world is your oyster, and I sadly don't have any oysters. Next up, we got low calorie wraps. Now these are low carb wraps, but I just buy them because they're lower in calories. A lot of wraps that you buy are gonna be like 150 to 250 calories. These things only clock in at about 80. I also get those from Aldi. It's a great alternative if you don't want a sandwich, just have one of those. And regardless of what you're having, don't be afraid to throw on a plain ass single. Yeah, these are just regular singles. They clock in at 45 calories. A delicious way to add some cheese to your life. And when you're making that sandwich, a lot of times you're gonna wanna throw some meat on there. So we got oven roasted chicken and we got uncured honey ham. I also like uncured turkey, but whatever you're getting, make sure that you're not getting like flavored meats. It's up to you to zhuzh up your food. Don't let companies do it for you. They usually don't have your health in mind as much as you do. Break out the mustard, break out the sriracha, break out the sauerkraut, and make that sandwich yours. Now, if you would rather have like a wrap than a sandwich, sometimes I even make like a high protein quesadilla. I'm always using reduced fat sharp cheddar. You're gonna save about 50 calories per serving on getting the reduced fat versions, and I literally can't taste the difference between this cheddar and the regular cheddar, so just get the reduced fat version. Talking about reduced fat, a huge dietary hack is PB2 powder. Well, guess what? This is PB Fit, but you get it, a powdered peanut butter. In 2 tablespoons, you're looking at 70 calories, and 2 tablespoons of this stuff, 190. So this is literally double and then some, and this is just as good. So I love just making a peanut butter dip, making a peanut butter and jelly on low calorie bread, whatever you want, just be swapping out that peanut butter for this stuff, especially if you're making smoothies, because the peanut flavor gets so lost in the smoothie. People are wasting like 200, 300, 400 calories a day on this stuff. Going in with a spoon, take an extra minute and mix this together. All of this is peanut butter with the fat removed. It becomes a powder. All you gotta do is add a liquid to it like water and you're good to go. While we're talking peanut butter, here's the jelly I recommend. It's got like 50% less sugar than the standard jelly. So in a serving, you're looking at only 25 calories. I know that Walden Farms actually makes 0 calorie jelly. I don't have that on deck right now because I think it kind of makes you radioactive, but it is delicious. And what I use to make my high protein DIY Nutella is this cacao powder here. So I like to mix this with my PB2, and then you get like a chocolatey delicious surprise, and cacao powder can also be added to anything. It's what I put in my high protein hot chocolate this morning. It's just delicious. Make sure you get the unsweetened version. Speaking of peanut butter and chocolate, my current protein powder is a chocolate peanut butter whey protein. And obviously protein powder is just a great bang for your buck on calories. Also, protein shakes are very filling, so if you're in a hurry, just grab them and go. Another great grab and go option is bananas. Now, compared to the other fruit that I mentioned, bananas are way higher in calories. They are not a great bang for your buck on calories, but they're still a fruit. And in comparison to like grabbing, you know, a granola bar or some trail mix or whatever, this is generally going to be a much better bang for your buck. Don't be afraid of fruit. Even if it's a higher calorie fruit, it's still a fruit. Another generally higher calorie snack is almonds. These wasabi almonds are freaking delicious, but if you are having almonds, just be careful. Like, I'm a huge proponent of nuts for the healthy fats, but in 28 nuts, you're getting 170 calories. So if you're grabbing a handful, I highly recommend weighing these things out and sticking to just that handful. Because if you're just eating out of the container, before you know it, the whole container's gone, and so are your entire daily calories. Nuts aren't even that good on protein. They're mostly fat. Sorry, I wish they were a better protein option, but they're not. I also wish that cheese was a better protein option, but regardless, having some cheese sticks on deck is still really handy if you're in a pinch, if you're running out the door. Just grab a cheese stick and a piece of fruit, you're good to go. I think this is like 45 calories. All right, we're getting down to the bottom of the list. A very big mention is spring mix. I make a salad on spring mix at least every day. I eat tons of this stuff, as well as spinach. Spinach I like to use more to put on top of sandwiches, inside of wraps. I use it in my egg drop oatmeal. A lot of different uses for vegetables, but this is just a ton of volume that's gonna help you stay full. In 3 cups of this stuff, you're only looking at 15 calories, and it's full of nice nutrition for your health. I know I've talked a lot about oatmeal today, so I'm just gonna shout out these big things of oatmeal instead of getting the little packets that are already flavored. Just buy regular oatmeal and zhuzh it up on your own. And before I get carried away, I'm just gonna tell you to go find my egg drop oatmeal recipe. I'll drop it in the comments below if you're interested. I feel like I found a pretty good way to do oatmeal that is super filling, and it's really one of my favorite breakfasts. It's one of my favorite breakfasts. But what might even be a better healthy carb option that's full of fiber is popcorn. Come on, I am passionate about popcorn, people. For those of you out there that love salty snacks, if you're not eating popcorn, you got problems. Just look for the Healthy 100 Pops. Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop popcorn is like the industry standard, but I actually really like this Jolly Time. I think it's damn delicious. But we're looking at a whole bag of popcorn for only 110 calories. If you find yourself hungry after lunch or something, just have a bag of popcorn and a diet soda and keep working away. It's unbelievable. Like, that entire meal I just had, including popcorn, was like 450 calories, and I still have popcorn to go. In one bag, we're getting 110 calories, 24 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. It's not bad. One thing I like to put on top of my popcorn is not Parmesan cheese, but in this container here is actually nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is like a very high protein vegan form of cheese. Not actually cheese, it's like a byproduct of winemaking. Definitely look into nutritional yeast. And I like to buy it in big bags and then put it into a Parmesan cheese shaker, just makes it easier. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty, what's left on this table. Peppers, I've talked enough about vegetables. Just get some peppers, put them in stuff. Gum, if you're the kind of person that just needs something to taste, needs something to chew on, freaking load up on sugar-free gum. Now, 2 pieces are 5 calories, so if you chew a whole bag, it might add up in a minor way, and it might give you some intestinal discomfort, so don't abuse it, but it's nice to have gum on hand. I also really like to have a lot of liquids on hand so that I can always reach for something tasty to drink, because I do get tired of water sometimes. Like, I'm drinking over a gallon a day, it gets boring. I love decaf coffee. That's right, guys, I drink decaf because I like to drink it all day. And if I want to add caffeine to my coffee, I just have Guarana here. This is literally 220 milligrams of caffeine per scoop, and you can just stir it into your coffee or whatever kind of drink you want. I use that as a pre-workout when I need it. An honorable mention, this doesn't count on the list, but I do take beta-alanine as part of my pre-workout, and I have a little pre-workout recipe if you want to look into that. If you're interested in optimizing your workouts with a little pre-workout, I'll bloop that video up here. Another thing I like to drink on the regular is tea. Now, decaffeinated tea from Wise Ape Tea are hands down my favorite teas. The Orange Dreamsicle is straight up the best tea I've ever had in my life. I'm not just saying that because I'm affiliated with them, but I'm affiliated with them because I've said that. Because I tried the tea, I loved it. I reached out, I was like, hey, we need to give these people a deal on Orange Dreamsicle. So if you're interested in that deal, I'll put details in the description below. Really, you just go to their website and use promo code CHASE at checkout. You'll get a good discount. And if you want to sweeten up your tea, make sure you have some artificial sweetener on deck. You don't need honey, you don't need sugar. You might need honey if it's allergy season, or you could just stick to stevia or sucrose, that's in the yellow packets. Artificial sweeteners, guys, they're not gonna kill you. I'm sorry, they're not. Here comes a nice controversial thing. This is apple cider vinegar. I know everyone on the internet thinks that apple cider vinegar is gonna make you live forever and, you know, achieve 5% body fat. If you're gonna be drinking apple cider vinegar, you don't need to be intermittent fasting. What I like to do is add a little bit to my seltzer water, and it makes it taste like kombucha. I also use this in those DIY dressings that I was talking about. Use this and some salt and some garlic in your yogurt. Throw in a little bit of dill, and you got a ranch. You got a high protein ranch. And here comes what I think is the last thing on the table, which is xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum is a really strange ingredient that thickens things up. You can add this to your oatmeal, add it to your smoothies, add it to really anything that's gonna get blended and mixed and concocted, and you can add a ton of volume to things. Just be careful, because if you add too much, you will need a new toilet. And how could I forget this last item on the list? It's Mabel. No, we're not making a stir fry. She is my excuse to get 10,000 steps a day. That's right, this is my little walking partner right here. Like I said before I started dissecting all the food, nothing is gonna drive fat loss. No individual food is gonna make you lean unless you are in a calorie deficit. Now, if you're already lean, you can eat at maintenance and you'll be totally fine, but if you're trying to drop body fat, you must be in that calorie deficit, and eating is only one part of the equation. Granted, it's a huge part of the equation, but if all of this was a little overwhelming, what I'm gonna recommend is you buy the foods that seemed interesting to you, and then you go and just aim to increase your daily steps. Maybe just start tracking steps. You don't have to get 10,000 steps a day, but your step count is generally gonna be a great source of energy output. As long as you are walking and resistance training and making relatively good decisions in the kitchen, optimizing your environment, this is gonna be a pretty straightforward process. And just to be real with you guys, I'm not currently trying to lose weight at all. If anything, I'm lean bulking. I'm slowly gaining weight over time, but I've been stressed lately, and my weekends have not been optimal. I've been drinking more than usual. I've been hanging out more than usual. I've been doing a little letting loose, you know, living life, forgetting about fitness. So I've fallen into this routine where the weekends are generally way higher calories than usual, and then on Monday and Tuesday I taper it off a bit and then find maintenance on Wednesday through Friday. And that's just kind of the style that works for me. I know it's not optimal for my gains, but it's just optimal for the way that I'm living right now. And maybe it's not optimal, but I'd rather just do something that's good enough than shoot for perfection and not hit it. So you don't have to be perfect all the time, you just have to be good enough most of the time. I hope that this video gave you some ideas as to how you can be good enough most of the times. If you're busy, if you're stressed, have these foods on hand so that you can reach them and make this effortless. Make sure that the ends justify the means, and make sure that you're staying honest with yourself. So if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a subscribe and a like. And if there are any foods that I forgot about that I don't have on hand, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I'm interested. What are you folks eating? And until next time, we are out. Health and fitness for the average bear.
6 hours later.